Kidnapping, the constant pain, an albatross on the Nigerian state. Another large number of students whisked away in the early hours of Friday at the Government Girls Secondary School, Jangebe, Talata Mafara local government area of Zanfara state. It is a hydra-headed monster confronting all tiers of government. We'll get a report from Zanfara state. Also on Political Update today, we will examine some peace initiatives in different parts of the country and the impacts on the groups, either through on coalition course. We will also look at the economic prospects for 2021 in terms of job creation and youth engagement. I am Fisayo Ogunfui. Welcome. Suspected armed bandits have kidnapped some students at the Government Girls Secondary School, Jangebe in Talata Mafara local government area of Zanfara State. The Zanfara State Commissioner of Information, Suleiman Tunau Anka, who confirmed the incident, said gunmen stormed the school around 1 a.m. and abducted the students. Our correspondent in Zanfara, Aliru Umar, has visited the school and interacted with our studios earlier.
Right now at the Government Girls Science Secondary School, Jangebe, in Talata Mafara local government area of Zanfara State. The incident, according to eyewitness, happened at exactly around 1 o'clock in the evening yesterday. And from the reports we received from the school authorities, a total number of 317 students were abducted out of the total number of about 515 students that are in the school. Parents, guardians, and other members of the community are in deep sorrow. They are seriously disturbed, and the situation is really pathetic. Yes. A lot of parents have came early and have taken some of the students who are not affected by the incident. We've spoken with our two parents, one from Anka local government area, the local government nearby, who three students were abducted in the incident. And the other one has a student who was also abducted. There are students and they are appealing to the state government to review the ongoing peace and reconciliation process, because according to them, that's not actually prevented this incident. So the state government should review the situation. One of the students of the school who happened to hide inside the toilet and therefore escaped the abduction. According to her, the abductors come to the school and they passed their way through the main gate of the school. They went straight to the hostel, knocked, and were asking the students to come out for night prayers, down prayers. And after they had came out, they started, pursuing them outside.
The current situation is that the Operation Harendaji operatives are in pursuit of the bandits, and we are monitoring the development. As more development unfolds, we'll keep you posted. For now, they are in pursuit of the bandits, and the direction they have taken is known. So, with time, new developments may arise coming from these efforts, and then we'll keep you posted.
Okay. How many students were actually kidnapped?
From the principal, 317 students. Yes.
The head of police unit there, responding to our correspondent on ground, Aliru Umar, will be giving you updates on that in the course of the program and throughout our bulletins today on the Nigerian Television Authority. Now, before Friday morning's unfortunate development, the Northern Governors Forum had met in Kaduna to discuss issues surrounding the kidnap of students in Kagara, Niger State. The federal government's delegation to that meeting was led by the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari.
That this kind of robust engagement provides a very important platform for deep reflection and dialogue from pertinent issues affecting not only northern Nigeria, but the nation as a whole.
That is why we have remained resolute in supporting and advising the federal government, collaborating with relevant security agencies, and also using opportunities at our disposal to work for a more secure nation.
Come up with possible solutions to all these problems. And we must continue to chat and continue to discuss more and more, never to give up.
Working with our respected traditional rulers, community and civic leaders, we need to accelerate efforts to avail our region of every chance to successfully engage the challenges and possibilities of the 21st century.
Meanwhile, Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State says the issues between his counterpart governors of Bauchi and Benue are not fundamental, as steps have been taken for fence mending. The Kaduna helmsman also says the northern governors have also taken a strong position to stop the movement of cattle.
Committed to solving this problem of movement up and down by the herders, because once we solve that problem, the clashes between farmers and herders will reduce significantly. It will be sorted out. There will always be differences in opinion, but they are not fundamental. The Northern State Governors Forum is committed to ending the nomadic movement of cattle and people in the shortest possible time, and we're all working on it.
Now, for any economy to thrive, security remains a prerequisite. Now, joining us is Honorable Samuel Nuigbo, member representing Ekwano, Umaya North and South Federal Constituency. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Initially, we were to, discuss security and national cohesion when news of this unfortunate kidnap surfaced. What are your thoughts at this time to start with?
Well, first is prayers. We all have to pray. We all have to work together. No pretenses about this, because when kidnapping started, I think in Rivers State, it seemed like it was an isolated issue. And so many other persons thought they were safe. When we started having the crisis in the Northeast, it seemed it was going to be restricted to the Northeast alone. But today, it's all over the country. So all hands must be on deck. No pretenses, face it as a real threat to the nation, and we will solve it.
All right, we're just trying to, recover, or not necessarily, at least get to grips with what happened in Kagara in Niger State. Even efforts are still being made and all that. This has come again. It's almost now becoming some kind of conveyor belt of lucrative businesses.
Exactly. That's what it looks like. But like I just said in my opening remarks, we have to face this with all the seriousness that it deserves. The reason I'm saying so is because, if you look through the Constitution, if you check Section 14(2)(b), it said the primary purpose of a government is the security and the welfare of the people. So if that is the primary purpose of government and we're having this challenge, then we should then rise up to the challenge and solve it, and win the confidence of the people, the support of the people, so that we can get, first-hand security information from the communities about some suspicious movements.
Now, the leader of that law enforcement group, the police man that was interviewed by a reporter just a few hours ago, a few moments ago, Haliru Umar, out in Zanfara, said 317 as we speak students. Now, when we look at that logistically, to even feed them once a day, while the negotiations go on, or at least they have been tracked or whatever, shows that this is not something that was just thought about in a day or two. We are talking 317 souls, bodies to be fed. They would perhaps look for where they will also, do a few things in terms of getting them under a shelter or some kind of things. So that means that it's organized to a level.
I'll agree with you, because, for us to have... Which one are we talking about now? We're talking about Dabchi or where is that place?
Kangara in the
Kangara, these are recent developments. We're talking about the very first ones that happened, Chibok, Dabchi, Chibok, Kangara, and some other, locations where we've had this kind of very troubling, very unpleasant experiences. So you discover that they did not come overnight. But that's why we need the intelligence. That's why we need the cooperation of the people. That's why we also need the security agencies, to step up their game. Very, very important. Because you take away 317 souls. How many lorries do you require to do that? It's probably not one truck. So this is a well-planned and well-executed operation. And of course, we are still negotiating on the issue of Kankara. And here we are with 317. So it's a huge concern. It's a real concern. And like I said, it's not a party thing. It's not a tribe thing. This is going after the soul of the nation. So we must all rise to protect, prevent, and make sure that we terminate this with precision. Very, very important.
Are we too docile as a people in terms of when you see, you hear things about when you play music so loud in other climes, police can come and knock on your door. When you see suspicious movement, like everybody just seems to feel it's not my concern, and that is perhaps a lot of people believe this is where some of these problems stem from. Even the law enforcement that we're talking about still need to work on information.
Precisely. I just said here, we need the cooperation of the members of the community, the traditional rulers, members of the community. And why I said that, and I also said that the security agencies need to come up. They need to really raise their game a little bit. But again, for them to be successful, they need the support of these individuals who bring information. Now, what is the concern of those who bring information? Is whether someone is going to go back and tell maybe the criminals that, look, it was Fisayo that told that you are Fisayo. He was the one who came here and told us that you were operating in that. So once we can secure the support of the community, gain their confidence, maintain extreme confidentiality on security information that is supplied, probably be able to solve this. But one thing I must repeat, all hands must be on deck. No pretenses.
We'll still be getting more of that. Of course, we're still hoping that we'll get through to our man in Zanfara State. We understand that it's been moving from one part to the other to also, get some information from the law enforcement agents as well as the administration out there in Zanfara State. Moving on now, the House of Representatives has called on INEC to, in line with Federal High Court judgment, restore 8 state constituencies in Oyo State.
Day of judgment to date, no equal or superior court has set aside the court decision, which under reference.
We'll still be talking about the issues of kidnapping, but let's just take a few of the party stories we have before we return to studio. Let's get the updates from the ongoing APC revalidation exercise in parts of the country, this time the Southeast.
Of the All Progressive Congress in Abuja State have joined their counterparts across the country in the revalidation and re-registration exercise. The effort is geared towards rebuilding and repositioning the party for greater responsibility.
It is worth doing because as you do this, you are reaffirming that you believe, that you trust, that you want to continue in the philosophy and ideology of APC.
The member representing Umuahia and Ikwano Federal Constituency at the National Assembly, Honorable Sam Onibo, who recently cross-carpeted, was one of those who performed membership revalidation at his Ibere Ward 2 in Ikwano local government area of Abia State.
Embrace the community people, engage them, give them a sense of belonging. You'll be surprised that they will like to join you in your party and register.
What you have done to call your constituency to be part of what you are doing today is very unique. It's not everybody that understands the implication. That to say that you are a grassroots man.
The All Progressive Congress re-registration and revalidation exercise is currently ongoing across the country.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party says the unity of Nigeria is paramount to everyone.
Brother, how's it going? Good to see you. Well done.
National Chairman of the PDP, Prince Uche Secondus, led the National Working Committee of the party on the visit to the former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode. The visit is part of the party's initiative towards building bridges of unity within and across the PDP.
I believe that this country belongs to all of us, and we need the unity of this country to move this country forward.
The former Minister of Aviation, who restates commitment to the ideals of the PDP, says it is normal to once in a while reach out to those in position of authority across party lines to further deepen cordial relationship among the people.
I never left the PDP. I'm in the PDP, and I'm proud to be here. Whatever the case might be, whatever's happening in this country, the most important thing for us to do is to build bridges across party lines, across regional, ethnic, and religious lines in order to ensure that we actually have a country that we can call our own.
The PDP enjoined Nigerians to shun party differences and fight for the common good of the citizenry.
All right, we've captured the mood in your party, that's the APC, and of course the PDP. Now, the issues of party rhetorics, like also,
I said earlier,
they said there should be at least it's almost unanimous that it should be put aside now. We should begin to look at the issue of having a Nigeria first, and then begin to look at ways to tackle this. How have you, perhaps in your own axis, been able to build these fences? Because right now, the outlaws are at the door.
yes, that's true. But I also mentioned it here. That's not a party thing. We must save the nation. I said it in one of my remarks here. And it was as if I listened to Femi Fani-Kayode. But that's what everyone should be talking about. How to save the nation. If the nation is not saved, if we begin to crack up in different directions, you discover that even if they want you to be head of state, you'll be on their own. That is very true. Unless there is security of life, you cannot make any progress. You cannot move ahead. For instance, in areas where, maybe you have war or people are shooting, how can you go to run campaign and say, vote for me? And who will vote for you? And who are you going to govern? So security is number one. And you find that it was stated there early in the part of the Constitution. So it's number one, and all hands must be on deck. I'm saying it and I'm repeating it for I don't know how many times I have said that. And we must understand, okay, look at the party situation. Very many of the people in APC were in PDP. And some of the people in PDP, some of them also were in APC, some were in AD. And we had AD here, we had ACN. You no longer have AD-ACN, but you still have the Southwest, you still have Nigeria. This is the reason why we should not get serious with what we are doing. If you don't have this nation, where are you going to preside over?
Okay, we're looking at, perhaps taking a thread from this discussion will be an aspect of perhaps what a lot of people feel could be the reasons why we're having a lot of unrest, especially with the youth population, who are perhaps used as cannon fodder when it comes to some of these, issues, the issue of job creation, perhaps to get them, fully engaged in one activity or the other, so that by the time you work in a factory till 6 or 8, you are too tired to even think of kidnap or any other activity.
That's very true. When you are engaged, you find little or no time to engage or to get involved in unwholesome or criminal activities. That's very, very true. But I think the challenge is global, that the economy is having challenges around the world. It's not just here in Nigeria. And therefore, all the efforts that are being made, in terms of economic plans, the government came up with the economic, recovery and sustainability plan in the midst of this COVID. And government also took extra steps in terms of appropriating money, amending the budget to ensure that we provided money to carry the weight of the burden that COVID brought. These are deliberate policies that are geared towards getting people engaged. And when they're engaged, they have little or no time for this kind of exercises. And again, I think that even the COVID, like I said in one of the interviews that I granted, somehow it has turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because it has really awoken the government and the people in so many areas that we are lacking. For instance, the health ministry or the health sector of the country. You can imagine how much money they have received. We were out there on oversight to a few of the agencies. One of them said, well, before the COVID, they could only market or develop one product. But they have come up with 5 within this period. Why? Because
necessity is the mother of invention.
Absolutely. And again, money was made available for them to be able to respond to the challenges of COVID. And we went to another agency, that was even yesterday, and they said they are now building a world-class laboratory from the money that was appropriated to them. So when we work together and this is a nation that is blessed with resources, human and material. When we work together and, make sure that we mobilize people in the right direction, we find very many people that want to key into the wrong ideology of we want to overthrow this, we want to impose this and things like that. So I am very hopeful that we are ready to rise up to the challenge.
We are facing a high-headed challenge. We've talked about banditry. We've had issues, just like we heard from the governor of Kaduna State, Governor Rufai, talking about the herders, farmers confrontation. We have had ethno-religious clashes as well. Moving forward, what will be your hope, for the nation moving forward, and how do we begin to, navigate through all these, hurdles?
Well, I think it's really it's noteworthy that the governor of Kaduna State has made or conveyed such a statement or such a resolution of the Northern Governors Forum, that they want to work on preventing the movement of herders and cattle, because that is primarily responsible for the clashes that we have had, with farmers across the country. I said that when I was attending school, I was staying in Omodike in those days, in the 70s. The problems, we are having multiplicity of problems, actually, because, I recall that in those days, trains would bring cattle from Kano and Maiduguri or wherever, and would stop them either at Enugu or in Umuahia or in Aba or in Port Harcourt. And these cattle would now move from there. For instance, from Umuahia, where I come from, they move from town, and they usually move between 12 midnight and 6 a.m. And they first the main road and move to Ekwata-Ibeni and move to Calabar. They were not branching into anybody's farms. So it is now that this transportation thing has not been fixed. These cattle now, and with the headers, they now trek all the way. So midway, they look for what to eat. So we can solve these problems, since we have clearly identified that this is reasonably responsible for how things have actually broken down.
Quite succinctly put, time is not our friend. Honorable Sam Onoigbo is here. It will be back because, of course, we needed to discuss so many things, including agriculture and climate change, which is your passion. We'll probably try and see if we can bring you back for that. But for today, it's been the unfortunate development out there in Talata Mafara, local government area of Zanfara, that is taking the front burner. My name is Fisao Ogunfuyi, urging you to play your politics for the national good. As I thank my guest, Honorable Sam Onoigbo, for coming, and you for watching. Have a lovely weekend ahead. Bye-bye now.